It's that kind of time of the year where even if the weather hasn't fully committed to being cold and grey yet, it's just starting to feel like stodgy, cozy, rib-sticking comfort food season. Or maybe that's just me. And today I want to share with you guys a recipe that fits just that. It's comfort food in that it's both easy to make and incredibly easy to eat. You can have it warm, you can have it cold from the fridge if it's still hot where you are, you can have it at room temperature as it was made to be. It's a little bit salty, it's a little bit sweet, it's satisfying, it's stodgy, and it is absolutely bursting with flavour. Today I want to show you guys how to make some super simple salted peanut butter brownies. This is a recipe that's actually been up on my website maverickbaking.com for a few years now, but one that was requested while I'm back here in Scotland visiting family, and one that I was very happy to oblige. Soft, fudgy, velvety, cocoa-rich milk chocolate brownies with chunks of milk chocolate, a pinch of flaky salt, and a swirl of lovely, smooth, or crunchy, if that's how you swing, peanut butter. You don't need loads of baking experience, you don't need fancy equipment, you just need a little bit of patience while they bake and while they cool, and it's absolutely worth it. Pinky promise. But enough chat, let me show you how to make these lovely gooey things. Let's begin our brownies with a just about equal share of butter, either the salted or unsalted kind, whatever you prefer, and chocolate. I like to use a blend of both dark and milk, but you can use whichever you prefer. And you're just going to want to melt that either on the stovetop or in the microwave until nice and smooth, and let it cool down a little bit while you get everything else prepared. Grab yourself 3 large eggs and an even larger bowl and just crack those in there one by one, making sure not to get any shell in there too. You're going to then want to add a little bit of vanilla. I had the nice stuff on hand, so I used the nice stuff, but the cheap stuff works just as well. Add a glug, roughly a teaspoon, before pouring in an equal share of white castor or granulated sugar and soft brown sugar. Again, the dark stuff, the light stuff, whatever you have to hand, whatever you prefer. It just adds a gorgeous flavour with the peanut butter. And you're just going to want to whisk that together just until it's combined. We don't want to whisk any air in there, just until it's nice and smooth with no lumps, before pouring in that butter and chocolate mixture, remembering to scrape down the edges of the bowl, because if there is anything we don't waste, it's chocolate. And again, we just want to mix constantly just until it's all nice and combined. Nothing strenuous, nothing to get any air bubbles or moussiness on the go. It should just look like this. I think some more professional people would call this the ribbon stage. To that, we're going to add our dry ingredients, a big kind of dusting of cocoa powder and flour, ideally sifting together. Not super essential, but just make sure there's no lumps and that they're nicely combined, and a good few generous twists of salt. I only had this fancy pink stuff because I'm visiting family and apparently they like the fancy pink stuff, but the normal stuff will do the job. Again, just whisking until everything's combined and there's no lumps and it looks like a gorgeous gooey brownie batter. You're then going to want to grab the tin to bake it in. I'm using a square one. It's 8 by 8, but you can also use 8 by 12. Just make sure it's nicely buttered and there's a little bit of paper on the bottom to stop the arse of your brownies from becoming a little bit too attached to their friend, the tin. Get all of that gorgeous brownie batter in there, again, making sure to scrape off every last drop, and then look out your peanut butter. Do ignore the fact this is an actual bucket. Don't judge our personal choices. And whether you use smooth or crunchy peanut butter, you're just going to want to dollop, drizzle, and decorate the top of that brownie batter there, something like this, before grabbing a table knife or just using the end of the same spoon to ever so gently marble it through. You don't want to mix it in, but you also don't want just kind of big blobs of peanut butter sat on their own. Then you can add an extra pinch of salt if you like, or some extra kind of milk or dark chocolate chunks like I did, and get it in the oven to bake and then to cool before very happily slicing them up into kind of long bars, rectangles, into triangles, or into little squares as I did, and sinking your teeth into that gorgeously velvety peanut butter brownie. Salty, sweet, perfect.